Good evening, I am Tomas Guevara Calderon, and this is the channel Rewriting the Reality. Subscribe now to understand your purpose and origin. In today's episode 145, I am going to talk about time and transition one more time. Time is different once someone dies and they blink in non-physically. It's very different to our time. Therefore, it's not unusual. Actually, it's very common for the individual that died to not actually enter into non-physical transition for between 5 and 10 years of our time. Sometimes even longer. And that is because first there is a period of time before we remember our death. We don't remember our death immediately. That would be very startling and traumatic for us, because there is nothing outside of this reality, meaning in non-physical reality, that would be designed to be traumatic at all. That is, there is no hell. Therefore, there's a period of time that people don't remember their death. And then they begin to notice things around them that encourage them to remember their death. We are actually creating imagery that is in appearance precisely as if we were still in physical focus, meaning as if we were living, all the people that we know, all the things that we do in our life in physical focus, we continue doing before we remember our death. Just as I explained in episode number 47. But there are some things that are different. One of them is that everyone always agrees with us. And that begins to create a suspicion, because people don't always agree with us, and because of that, we begin to question, why is everyone always agreeing with me? Everyone always agrees with us because we're creating all of the imagery. It isn't, that's the difference between here, our reality in physical focus, and there, in non-physical. We're creating everything. Everything. And there's no other participation from other people or other things. Everything is of our own design. And therefore, of course, everyone agrees with us all the time, and that begins to be suspicious at some point. There's also another piece that is very obvious or becomes very obvious. It isn't, initially, but it becomes very obvious. It is that there are spots. They're actually holes, actual holes, in areas of our supposed reality. Therefore, let us say that you were sitting in this room at present, and if you were dead, there would be perhaps a hole in the wall, and it would only be black, and another one on the floor, and perhaps another one on the sofa. Because what it's doing is, in increments, little by little, other energies are filtering in. Therefore, whenever we think of a person that has died, that energy is filtering in. When another person thinks of us, that energy is filtering in. When you dream with that person in your dream, that person is interacting with you in your dream because they're creating that imagery where they are, and it's translating to you, and your energy is coming through to them through those holes. And they begin to notice those holes more and more, and then they remember their death. But what happens when people remember their death is that they realize that they can genuinely play and incorporate a lot of fun with imagery, because all they have to do is think that they want to visit another country and then they're there. Or they want to see and interact with their grandmother, and there she is. And in that, they can move and manipulate immediately, and they do whatever they choose. Because the rules and the laws, so to speak, of physical focus don't apply to them, and therefore they can do whatever they choose. And if an individual always wanted to be a teacher, they could be a teacher. If they always wanted to be a great swimmer, they could be a great swimmer. They can do whatever they choose. Therefore, once they remember their death, that doesn't mean they automatically move into non-physical transition. They have a choice. They can choose to continue to explore what they can create in physical imagery, and it's just as tangible to them as you are sitting on a sofa, or you are holding a book. It's just as tangible to them. And therefore, they don't always choose to move into non-physical transition for a time, because they can play. For example, let's say that you dream of chasing a dinosaur. That is a very interesting experience, because that would not be a dream. that would be actually a projection in time. It would not be a different dimension, it is this dimension. And you chose to move back in time, and in that, you would actually project into that time of the dinosaurs and would be interacting with them. Everything is energy, everything, and information is held in the energy. And what happens is when you intersect with some form, it doesn't matter what it is, it could be letters on a page. It could be sound in something speaking. It could be something you see or touch. Anything. Because all of it is energy, and when you intersect with it, when you connect with something, it translates information to you. You put your hand on something. That gives you information. It doesn't matter what it is. This is also why we have 5 senses, and then inner senses. But in that, all our senses are designed to translate information to us. This is also what our thought mechanism, the brain, is designed for, to translate information to us. Everything is geared to be inputting and outputting information. We are energy too. Some people call it a spirit. Some people call it a soul. The reason that I use the word essence is because that's what it is, the essence of us. It is the pure and unique, one of a kind. There is no other expression of the essence of us anywhere in consciousness, and consciousness is everything. We are an essence in consciousness, of which there are numberless essences that are part of consciousness. Essence doesn't make up consciousness. Consciousness makes up essences. That is why I called it universal consciousness. But that essential aspect of you, which is in physical terms almost undefinable, but you know yourself, and you know that there is a constant. There has been a constant of you from the time you were a very, very small child and even before. But in your memory, in your recall of yourself, you can see and feel and know that there has been a constant that has been you for as long as you can remember, and it still is. Even with all our development, with all our changes, with all our experiences, it doesn't matter, there is a constant that's always you. That is the essence of you, and that is one of a kind. There is no other that is the same as you. At the beginning of this channel, I told you of an experience that I had around the end of the 90s. I was driving at night and suddenly everything disappeared, everything was all black, and I was like the cursor on a computer. I was thinking, therefore I knew that I was alive. This was a fascinating experience that lasted probably 5 seconds. Remember that as you want more information, you can buy my books at Amazon.com or contact me directly. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to this channel.